Now, WJC's Purple Playbook, brought to you by M&T Bank.
And welcome into Purple Playbook. I'm Alex Glaze, joined as always by two-time Super Bowl champion Torrey Smith. Week one. I don't need to say anything else.
It's back, man. It's back. A beautiful game on Thursday, and now we are here for the most important part of the day.
Absolutely. Week one is here. The Ravens starting the season on the road in Buffalo, the place where last season ended. We're going to talk more about that Bills game in just a second, but before we break down that matchup, can we just appreciate that football is back? The wait is over. On Sunday, the games count, and for the first time since January's playoff run in Buffalo, a number of Ravens starters will be getting their first taste of game action. The Ravens had high expectations going into this season, and it all starts Sunday night.
It's that time. It's that time. We put in a lot of hard work and done a lot of great things and grown as a team, and just excited to see where that takes us, and it starts week one.
Obviously, it's going to be a hostile environment, a great opponent to open up the season. We know it's on the line, and, it's the first game of the season, so excited about that and ready to show the world.
All right, so everyone's pumped for week one, but before we get to the game, I have to ask you a question because I was talking to some of the guys in the locker room this week, and it's just like, do we outsiders make too much of week one and the build-up? And a player actually told me that it's all part of the theater of this, right? But so from a player perspective, is the build-up to week one just too much?
I'm just looking at the generic body language and answers, right? If you watch any other interview they've had during camp, they're all perked up, excited. Now they're ready to go demolish the other team, but you don't want to say something that the media goes crazy for. And I love watching which guys handle it well and which guys don't. But week one is a big deal because it's an accomplishment as a player to, one, make the active roster, but two, you're healthy enough to go out there and compete. You've been going against your teammates for way too long, right? There was no opportunity for the joint practice with the Commanders, so you didn't really get to get a mix in there. So now you're talking about the real thing. And listen, I can tell y'all what the guys in the locker room will not say. The Bills last year stung all season long, period. No matter what you say, no matter what they say, you're focused on beating them because they hurt you last. And it's important to beat a team that's been in the position that the Bills are to go out there and start the season and build this momentum the right way.
How important is it for the Ravens to come out and make a statement? I mean, this is a rematch of that divisional game, right? This is the team that, everyone wants to talk about the Chiefs, but you couldn't get past the Bills. That's all that you've been hearing for the past 4 months. Just how important, or 7 months, I should say, just how important is it to come out and make that statement week one?
Well, I think a statement depends. Some people may look at a statement as, man, you got to demolish them, you got to crush them on the road. To me, you got to figure out how to have one more point than they do, right? It's that simple. Because this game, even though it is a week one game, and even though there will be 16 more games, this will have major playoff implications because the Buffalo Bills are going to be a good team. The Baltimore Ravens are going to be a good team. So when we started talking about seeding late in the year, this is going to be a game that we come back to. So I hate using the term must win on week one, but the reality of it is, this is the game that you need to have to get the season going.
The rare week one must win from Torrey Smith. I love that. I got to ask you, though, is this kind of starting to become a little bit of a rivalry? I mean, I think growing up, obviously, Steelers, that's the rival. And then, there was a wave of Patriots and then Chiefs. It feels like the Bills, when you look back 2024 in the regular season, when they came here Sunday Night Football, how that game went, playoffs last year, how that game ended. It just feels like this is starting, and you look at who the two quarterbacks are, this feels like that rivalry starting to brew a little bit.
Yeah, and that's because they're good, right? It's hard to have a rivalry with the team that stinks, right? And right now, the Buffalo Bills are one of the best teams in the league. Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And then you have Lamar Jackson, who is arguably the best player in the league. I don't think it's arguably. He's the best player in the league, who, by the way, was robbed by his third MVP, but I'm not going to go on a rant, all right? Josh Allen, what he's been able to do for the Bills has made it must-see TV, which is why you have everyone that's excited, not only for the game that happened on Thursday, but right now, the opportunity that you have with two of the best players in the league going head-to-head, even though we understand it's a team game.
Absolutely. Well, as the Ravens look to exercise some of those demons on Sunday night, Mark Andrews is looking for redemption as well. Andrews dropped a 2-point conversion attempt in the final minutes of last season's playoff loss to the Bills. It's a play that didn't necessarily determine the game. The Ravens didn't lose because of that play, but it's one of those plays that is definitely going to be burned into the brains of Ravens fans for quite some time. And Mark's teammates have supported him all offseason.
I know the type of competitor Mark is, and, he's not going to let one moment, one, bad thing happen to set him back. He's a true warrior. He's going to push forward through those moments, and I know he's excited to prove himself, and everyone else that he's still that guy.
For me, it's just looking at it as it's two really good teams going against each other. I'm going to play my part. I'm going to do my job to the best of my ability, which I'm excited about. It's an incredible opportunity for this organization, for me, this team, and everything we want to do this year to start it off right.
Mark kind of downplaying that return to Buffalo, but what do you think is going through his mind as a player as he's getting ready to face that team in that stadium on Sunday?
Yeah, I think it's more so an outside thing than inside, right? Like if you show me a guy who actually played in games, who actually made an impact, I'm going to show you a guy who's failed or made a mistake, right? He didn't make the tough play, which he normally makes, right? I know everyone's like, oh, it's such an easy pass. Let me tell you, backing away from a ball that's a little bit short is not the easiest play. Is that a play that he makes 9 times out of 10? Absolutely, but he didn't. That's football. And so the biggest thing is to go into it, like you said, it's a new season, new opportunity. I know mentally he's had to battle through some things this entire offseason because it sticks with you, right? You're going in a grocery store. You're trying to get your eggs, and someone's grandma is staring a hole through you because they feel like you're the reason why the team lost the game. Like, you feel these things as a player. There's real emotions. But the reality of it is, for Mark, the best thing for him is getting a chance to play again, right? Because now he goes out and he has this 2-touchdown day. Now who's going to say anything? It's about Mark Andrews is back. Mark Andrews never left. He's just a football player that didn't make the play in a moment that he knows and feels like he's capable of doing it. It just didn't happen.
And also, I don't want that one play to take away from what Mark Andrews did last season. I mean, he led the team in receiving touchdowns, top 3 when you're talking about receptions, targets, and receiving yards. I mean, he started off a little bit slow, but I think he was maybe a little injured at the beginning of the season because of that car accident. I think that you can expect big things from Mark Andrews. He's still that guy.
Absolutely. He's still the guy, the safety blanket for Lamar Jackson. As long as Lamar Jackson is the quarterback and Mark Andrews is on the field, he will be a guy that you can rely on, and Baltimore is still very lucky to have him as tight end number 1 for this team.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about Lamar Jackson, who, believe it or not, is actually looking to take his game to the next level. What does that even look like? Lamar explains when Purple Playbook continues.
This is the Purple Playbook, brought to you by M&T Bank. And now, the winning prognosis, brought to you by LifeBridge Health. Care bravely.
All right, before we get started, I want to make a pact. We are not going to go down the 2024 MVP rabbit hole. Deal?
I'll make a deal just for you. You
just,
got it.
Just for me? All right, there we go. Last season, Lamar did crazy things that we have never seen a quarterback do. He became the first quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards and rush for 900 yards. He threw 41 touchdown passes. I mean, just an incredible season. And now Lamar says he's looking to take his game to the next level. What does that even look like? Lamar was asked about it earlier this week.
I think I say this all the time too. Everything, I really don't have anything specific that I want to just get better at. I try to get better at everything. So you can always critique your game and get better at something. You get older, you gotta see what other teams are trying to stop you at. So just try to get better at everything.
When you hear Lamar say he wants to get better at everything, I mean, that's got to be pretty scary for the rest of the league.
Oh, man, first of all, I'm a man of my word, but I almost, after hearing Lamar, gave me flashbacks. I almost went down that rabbit hole of the MVP years. But I'm not, man of my word. But for Lamar, it's scary. Right? Lamar is the best player in the league, and he still has room to grow. When you watch a guy who had one of the best quarterback seasons that we've seen as a player go out, and you're like, wait, there's holes in there? There are plenty of holes that he can fix. So really, when they say the sky's the limit for a guy like Lamar Jackson, it's honestly through, I don't even know, it's in another galaxy where he can go, just by being simply consistent, right? There are some simple things some plays that are missed throughout the season, some things that may not have been thrown on time. And so when you talk about Lamar, the thing that makes him the greatest is that his ability to improvise. And that's not to take away from his ability as a pocket passer to truly throw it, but when he improvises, things are truly special. And so for him, just being consistent with making, because you see him, there's nothing on the field that you haven't seen him do at a high level. If he's able to cut down, and every quarterback, but what I'm saying really fits every quarterback, so I don't want people to think it's a Lamar thing. No. If he can be a little bit more consistent at keeping the easy stuff easy, staying ahead of the sticks, that'll be what gets him to the next level of his game because he has the ability to make every single throw on the field.
I read a column this week that said Lamar needs to grow as a leader, and I thought that was very interesting because I feel like all that I've heard from guys this offseason, guys that I've talked to, is that he has grown as that leader. He is taking that initiative. He is getting guys together to make sure that they're working on things. He might not do it like other quarterbacks do. He might do it his own way, but just what do you make of that? Because I feel like Lamar has taken those strides, but of course,
Yeah, Lamar definitely has. I always think the leadership conversation for quarterbacks is hilarious because I've only played on one team where the quarterback was actually an awful leader. Everyone else kind of just does their job. Like, playing quarterback in the NFL isn't like watching Friday Night Lights or some kind of your favorite football movie where the quarterback is just this rah-rah guy. Okay, right? Like, Joe Flacco didn't have to be there for our team because you had Ray Lewis to give the speeches, right? When Joe speaks up in his little sarcastic way, you know it's the real deal, right? He has the ability to get you going. He has a certain type of confidence that gets you there. Lamar's always confident. If you ever watch any of the commentary where they're off the field or they're talking in the huddle, he's consistently pouring into his teammates. People want to see a quarterback that's getting the team together, running routes, scheduling vacations together. Who cares? Newsflash, I've never once been on a trip with Joe Flacco in my life. Yet we had some of the best chemistry of any quarterback that I've ever played with, right? It doesn't have to be that way. In the building, are you taking care of business? Are you a guy that we can trust? That's all people are looking for. The quarterback that everyone wants to see from the outside, it just doesn't make sense. That's not who he is, right? But I can tell you this, a real leader isn't what the lights and glitz and glamour look like. Who's the guy that you trust and you can depend on? And Lamar Jackson is a guy that this team in locker room respects, can trust, and depend on.
For me, it's just when you show up on Sunday, Monday, Thursday, what are you giving me? As long as I can count on that, you're good with me.
Super simple.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about these quarterbacks because I think when you look at this Week 1 matchup, I mean, NFL fans just have been salivating ever since the schedule got released, right? We're talking about Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, two of the best quarterbacks in this league. Josh Allen, the reigning league MVP. He was asked about squaring off against Jackson.
When you're going against a quarterback that's great, you talk about Lamar. He's one of the best players to touch the grass, honestly. And you can't give him more opportunities than he needs. You can't give him short fields. He'll take advantage of those. So being on the top of our game on the offensive side of the ball and just doing everything that we can to really help our defense out.
Before we get into that, I got to ask you, just as a football fan, right? Just can you put into perspective for people who maybe don't understand just what we are witnessing when we're talking about Lamar, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes? I mean, we're in an era of just elite quarterbacking right now.
We are, and people aren't putting enough respect on it. Like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, like they're back. These are the two back-to-back MVPs. That's some Brady Manning type stuff. It just doesn't look the same way that Brady and Manning played. These guys are more dynamic, right? That's no disrespect to the legends, but these guys make plays that the normal person cannot do. They're not capable of doing it. Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, who I love to death, both of them, can't do anything physically on the field like these two guys. Their level is way above that. And so as much as we love watching Lamar Jackson here in Baltimore, if you ever watch Josh Allen and take away your lens of him winning the MVP hate, he does some amazing things on the field. And we're lucky to have a player like that we're able to watch as fans of the game as well. But again, we're lucky, right? I just think people have to put into perspective and be grateful for the type of talent that exists in this day and age.
And when you look at this matchup, we asked our question of the week is which Raven do you believe is under the most pressure to perform in Week 1? But I want to ask you, which quarterback do you feel like is under the most pressure?
I think the reigning MVP is always under the most pressure. No, I'm just kidding. I think Lamar is going to be the person that everyone goes to, right? It's a big game. It's on the road. You're going against a guy that's considered one of the Goliaths of the league, right? It's that simple. This is the team that's been, one of the tops in the AFC, and everyone wants to know because of how the season finished last year, can Lamar do it on the road? And my answer to you is the same as it would have been the last season. He played well enough for the team to win the game last year, and they'll be in the exact same position this year.
It's kind of a lose-lose for Lamar almost, because even if he wins this game, it's not the playoffs, right? The stakes aren't the same. So that's going to be. It's just it doesn't seem like Lamar can possibly win.
Somehow, some way, we'll turn on the TV or hear folks on the radio talking about how Lamar won the game, but it was only the regular season. Like, it's the most foolish thing.
You already
in the
know
world.
that's going to,
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do enough. Yeah, he did it now. Of course he did. It's a regular season. It drives me crazy. I just think it's about getting the season started the right way. He understands that, and more importantly than Lamar, the team understands it.
All right, we're going to talk more about getting the season off to a fast start when we come back. We're going to talk more about that, and Roquan Smith explains the Ravens' approach to the start of the season when Purple Playbook continues. Stay with us.
This is the Purple Playbook, brought to you by M&T Bank. And now, the bottom line, brought to you by M&T Bank.
And welcome back to Purple Playbook. All offseason, we've talked about the emphasis on turnovers and the emphasis on the Ravens getting off to a fast start to the season. The Ravens started last season 0-2 and struggled, especially on the defensive side of the ball, in those 2 losses last year. With the first-place schedule and games against the Bills and Chiefs, as well as the division game, all in the first 4 weeks of the season, the Ravens know there's little room for error out the gate.
I think last year, as a defense, we obviously didn't play the first couple of weeks the way we wanted to. So, and that's just each and every person have to look themselves in the mirror regardless. We know that's not our standard. And again, that's last year. We're not focused on this year. It's a completely new team. It's a completely new defense, like I said. So I'm excited about it, and I'm excited just to go out and show the world. And I'm sure you'll be tuned in Sunday, so you'll see that for yourself as well.
All right. Well, Roquan wants to talk about this year, so let's talk about this year, right? We won't. I mean, this isn't Chiefs Raiders. I think those were the first 2 games. This is, Bills, Browns. These are 2 big games for this team. And then when you go further, you got Lions, Chiefs, right? They have to get off to a fast start. Cannot afford to drop 2 games, especially if we're talking about Bills, Chiefs, and you're talking about potential for a first place seeding in the AFC. Those are big. That's big.
It's an integral part of the season to start off.
Right away.
Like you have to win, right? I remember we always used to break the season up into quarters, right? Every 4 games, you want to try to win 3 of them. Try to go 3-1. If you happen to go 2-2, you got to figure out a way to go 4-0 in another quarter to kind of make it work. And I think for this team, they're definitely week by week, and that's the mindset you have to have. But these wins early, you have to ramp up your mindset and competitiveness. And this is not to say that you don't, that you operate at a level here. But you have to understand what's on the line. Because typically you're like, oh, man, we have time. And you're right, they do. They could lose the first 4 games and then run the table and have an amazing record. But we know that's not how reality normally works. You want to get going right now. And what that says is the work you put in, we know where we are. Because like last year, it took a couple of weeks to figure out who the defense was, who were the best guys to be on the field, and what roles they played. Now you go to this season now, you have the majority of your guys there. You've added guys who were there to simply enhance what you were doing, and there's a lot of stability in the core of this team. So I'm expecting this team to come out right now, ready to roll, and to be better than they've ever been to start the season off because they have the guys, they have the leadership, and if you've been around that building, they have the right mindset that it seems like it's natural to simply roll over into week 1.
I'm going to just take with what you just said, breaking it down into quarters. When you look at this first quarter, they can go 2-2. Those 2 losses just can't be to the Bills and Chiefs if I'm looking at that schedule.
Yeah, and no disrespect to the Browns, but listen, better not lose to the Browns. But this is
that's your guy. Next week you're gonna be sitting up here talking about Joe Flacco.
Yeah, it's crazy talking about Joe in that way, the grandpa on the field. But I think overall, this team it's an important part of the season. I don't think there's any team in the league that has a harder stretch than this. Period. There's no other team in the league that has a harder 4-game stretch than this. But again, this team understands it. This is where moments like this and having a schedule like this is where you really appreciate what Coach Harbaugh does as a leader. You see what happens on the field. You don't see what happens off the field to make sure that everyone's dialed in to being their best this week. Does it guarantee success? Absolutely not. But I promise you this Ravens team will go on the road. They will be prepared. I'm fully expecting a win, but this team is going to play in a way that you would think their starters have played all preseason and that everyone's been there all season long simply because of how great they've looked in practice.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, summer is wrapping up. Torrey, those fishing trips winding down, coming to an end for you pretty soon. We're going to talk about some Ravens doing a little bit of fishing when we come back. Stay with us.
This is the Purple Playbook, brought to you by M&T Bank. Now, WJZ's Purple Playbook brought to you by M&T Bank.
And welcome back to Purple Playbook as we wrap up the show and the summer, really, and get ready to head into week one. Those fishing trips, they're coming to an end, but the Ravens actually went fishing recently, and Zay Flowers was asked who would be on his dream fishing trip. Here's what he had to say.
First person, Ben Cleveland.
Ooh, that's a.
You know, he hunt.
That's a big boy.
So, hey, you know, if he hunting, he be good, he good at catching fish.
Hey, boy might catch with his teeth.
Boom. So I got him. I'm taking Hop.
Appreciate
Gotta
that.
go with Hop.
Appreciate that.
And for my third, I ain't gonna lie, I'm going with Tom Cruise because he put all his own stunts. You know, if we need him to jump in and catch a fish, which
Hey, man.
Mission Impossible, he made it possible.
He gonna bring the scuba gear with him.
You feel me? He don't even need the scuba gear.
Nah, he going in by with no
you
scuba
seen the
gear.
last one?
Stop.
Man,
last
that man
one.
touched the bottom of the earth with no scuba gear. Diving on planes, but hey, Tom, you ain't catching more fish than me.
All right, so there we have it. Zay's, that's a pretty solid group right there.
It is.
Who are you taking on your trip?
For me, man, I'm going with Steve Harvey, man. I'm going
Steve
with Steve
Harvey.
Steve Harvey.
Too many laughs. No, you got
fishing. The best part about fishing is relaxing. You need someone with you that's not going to be serious. You got time to. I actually need to talk to him about fishing. So it's maybe something that's not just said. It's maybe something that happens in real life.
Your kids? They're not. No.
My kids are my built-in fishing partners for life. Those are my daughter, my boys. I love fishing with them. But
I was gonna say not me. You're. I mean,
we can go. You look like you scared of the bait.
Yeah,
bait.
I might need. Well, no, I'm a grown man. I can't have you hook my.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
I can't ask you to.
That's the one thing. When you're on my boat, if you're a grown man, I might help you once. I'm not helping you at that.
I can't. Yeah, no, I can't. I got to do that myself. I got to figure it out. All right, well, that'll do it for this week's Purple Playbook. We are ready for week one for Torrey. I'm Alex. We do the show every week, and when we come back next week, we're actually gonna be talking about your guy, Joe Flacco. And, yeah,
Grandpa Flacco.
All right. Well, that'll do it for this week. We'll be back next week. Thanks for watching.